Okay, welcome back, screamers, screams and beans,
Screams and beans.
Cheers. Again, this is like the 6th episode in the same day, so we're way caffeinated. That Rwandan coffee I brewed, episode 1, lasted us through episode 3, and then we switched to soda and water, and we're like, we're not dehydrated today. That's all we're gonna say. So welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Hope it's been fun that you've been hanging in. We're on the final episode. We know there's a 7th movie in this this series. We just didn't cover it. It's very unconnected, disjointed from the whole series. It doesn't have any connection to Toby. No. So we basically followed movies 1 through 6, which have the connection to Toby. So.
Yeah. The 7th one, we watched it because it's part of it.
If you fell in love with part 7 and you're like, screw you guys, why are you coming?
No.
Do an episode.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I
it's not.
Okay, so Paranormal Activity 6, again, has a title called Ghost Dimension. Very ooh. And I love the poster of the movie where you see the little girl standing on her bed and there's like this opening into her wall that's like goes through like a tunnel. Yeah. And she's just like standing there. It reminded me of the little girl in Poltergeist standing in front of the TV. Like,
they're here. Yeah. That's a good one.
We're going to cover some classic 80s, so don't worry. October 23rd, 2015 is when this movie was released. Number 6.
I'm glad it's around Halloween.
It was the first paranormal movies to be released in 3D. Now, I didn't see the theater.
I didn't see the theater.
The thing I could see about it, because there is some camera effect, and I could see maybe 3D, you get a more, when it's like that weird...
because the ghosty looking thing.
Yeah, 3D might actually help that.
But, that makes sense.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
we might. I have 3D glasses at home. I don't know if we can get the 3D version, and my TV's capable, so maybe we'll have to try and figure that out.
Okay, that's interesting.
The reviews were not very good. Basically, saying it's a lot of this found footage style movie, chasing bumps in the night with a camera, has been there, done that. Well, okay, I get that. It's, you're 6 movies in now, so you're probably like, okay, really?
I'm over it.
But again, this is a completely different house, completely different family.
Yeah.
Although we are back in a house setting.
Yeah, we're in a house.
We're not running around Oxnard anymore.
No.
I think we're in Nevada. I'll have to figure that out. But, okay, so highlights of 2015 when the movie was released. The box office highest grossing movies were Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Didn't watch it.
Jurassic World.
Yes.
And the other Avengers movie, Age of Ultron. So,
I saw the Jurassic... I love Jurassic Park.
Remember when we did Friday the 13th and that went up in the same year? It was like
Star
Wars movie.
Yeah.
So like Star Wars is,
But these are the ones that are supposed to be like the
newer...
Yeah, the newer versions of it. I've never watched any of them.
I'm kind of an original. I like the original ones.
I watched the original and I watched the 3 after.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Jar Jar Binks. He cracked me up. But everybody hates him.
I hate you so much. So much. Jar Jar. Yeah. He's so horny. Jar Jar Binks. Whatever. You know what? I liked the Ewoks, and a lot of people didn't like the Ewoks. So, I mean, there's, whatever.
Yeah, I like the Ewoks.
Rolling Stone's 10 Best Horror Movies of 2015.
Ooh.
I haven't heard of these, except for one. So, they had a list of 10. I'm only giving top 3.
Okay.
So, the third one was What We Do in the Shadows, which has to do with vampires, werewolf rivalries, and as a faux documentary, as a horror comedy. It actually sounds like it might be fun. We should maybe watch it.
I've never heard of it.
The other movie, number 2, was Goodnight Mommy. Psychological tension, a mother and her boys with mom's face wrapped in gauze from some procedure, and then the movie has a big reveal. So...
I haven't heard of that one.
We might have to... Now, the one I think we both saw this, maybe, at some point. It Follows.
That's the sex one, isn't it?
Yeah, so... Somehow there's something that once I don't know if it's like you have sex and then something appears and starts following you in a straight line, and somehow you have to do something to pass it on
You
to
have to
someone
have
else.
sex to pass it on.
Like, it's a weird
one.
Just watch it, because
Yeah.
I actually thought it was pretty good.
Because only the person can see it.
Right.
Nobody else can see it.
And so it's just, and it's kind of this strange, like, it's like a straight line.
Yeah. When people chase you and then like they're there and then you walk and then they're just a little bit closer.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
The most popular book that year was Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, which was made into a movie. I actually read that book.
I didn't read that.
I was so revved up. Like, it started out so
the same
good.
As the girl with the tattoo?
No.
Oh,
no.
Never mind.
I thought it was just going somewhere awesome, and it just sort of fizzled to me.
Oh.
But
okay.
whatever.
I haven't heard it.
Billboard Hot 100 Songs, October 2013. The Hills by The Weeknd. Hotline Bling by Drake. Our friend Mickey.
Mickey would know.
Drake fan. Yeah.
Mickey would know.
I think she secretly thinks she's married to him.
She's married to him.
And What Do You Mean by Justin Bieber.
Yeah. The hair flip.
MTV's Video of the Year, Bad Blood by Taylor Swift.
Okay, that was a good one.
I mean, Taylor Swift at this point is like, she's like running the universe.
Yeah.
I mean, she's everywhere.
She's fantastic.
Grammy winners that year, Pop Song of the Year was Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Rock Song of the Year was Don't Want to Fight by Alabama Shakes. Love that song. I love the Alabama Shakes. The premier vocalist voice is just so unique. And then Country Song of the Year was Girl Crush by Little Big Town. Do you know that song?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got a girl crush. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it like pro-lesbianism
No.
or something? Oh. Our Life in 2015, like personal life. What about you? I always go first.
Okay, so 2015 was a very fun year for us.
Oh.
May, I can't remember the dates. Around Mother's Day.
Okay.
We, there was 10 of us.
Okay.
It was a big family thing. It was Abby's very first plane ride.
Ooh, fun.
My second plane ride.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Disney World.
Ooh, exciting.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Oh, that's
we went
fun.
for 10 days. There was me, my husband, and my daughter, his mother, his sister, her 3 kids, Jack, Andrew, and Fee.
Wow, that's a big
And then Andrew's best friend, Kyle, came with us.
Wow, that's a big
And
group.
so, there was 9 of us. So, there was a lot of us.
Yeah.
So, it was, like I said, it was the first time.
Did you have matching t-shirts?
No, I didn't do it. Yeah. We do that now. I apparently do that now. But we went, and like I said, it's our first plane ride. So it's my first one where it's the layovers where you get off and you get on the planes.
Oh, you didn't do a direct flight?
So Brenda, my mother-in-law, who's fantastic. I love you, Brenda.
She is great.
She planned all of this.
Okay.
She planned all of it.
So it might have been cheaper to have one
I think
stop.
it was cheaper the way that she did it was the 2 stops with all of us, and then the hotel, and then the rental car.
Yeah.
So it was like one big bundle thing that she did.
I mean, in some ways, different airports have different things, so you might be able to like check something out. I don't know how much layover time you had,
that's the funny part. So Brenda did this, and so the first time I ever remember flying was when my mom died. I flew home from from Lewiston, Idaho to Seattle. Okay. So that's the first time I've ever remember being on a plane. So I was terrified. I get motion sick, so I'm emotional. I'm motion sick. The lady offers me booze. I'm like, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Then I'm very, with my memory issues, I'm very I like directions. Like, okay, this is what's going to be. Mm-hmm. So when we got off the plane, they took us.
to go to Battery's plane.
Yeah, okay. So when they dropped us off in Seattle from Lewiston wasn't where it was supposed to go. So my directions didn't make sense. So you had to get on this train.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get on the train. Because I didn't know where I went.
I remember you told me this story the
So
other day.
when we did this trip, I was paranoid about, when you get off a plane, what's the process of getting on another plane? Because I've never done it before.
Right.
So Brenda planned this, and so I have the itinerary. I have everybody's, papers. I'm the collector of everything. And so we get to, I think it's Wisconsin. So our layover was in Wisconsin. And Brenna says we have 45 minutes to an hour left over. Okay, but I don't know. So we get off the plane and disperse.
Oh,
you know, so we disperse
because you got to be at your gate like
but I don't
20
know.
minutes before boarding.
Okay, so I don't know.
Shit.
So we dispersed and we're looking for food, you know, because our plane was like 6 a.m, you know, so we're all hungry now. And so I'm at this little bagel place because I'm like, because again, I'm motion sick. I figured the bagel would probably be the easiest thing on my stomach. I'm in line and my husband takes my daughter and they go get pretzels. I don't eat pretzels because I don't like the salt.
Yeah.
So here with the intercom, Robinson, party of 9, please proceed to your boarding thing.
Yeah, if you have a 45-minute layover, you have maybe 10 minutes.
We didn't even have a 45-minute layover.
Oh, wow.
Brenda didn't take the time change.
Oh my god.
So we were supposed to get off the plane and get right on the other plane.
This is why they have those boards that tell you like gates and
I don't know. Yeah. I know now, but I didn't know then. Yeah. So we get on, so of course everybody's waiting on us, and I'm like, I'm sorry. As everybody's like, I'm sorry.
Like everyone's boarded the plane.
Everybody's boarded.
Where the fuck is the Robinson camera ready to
So
take
then,
off?
of course, all of us are in the back of the plane. God. So it takes us, 9 of us to go down, and I'm like, sorry, I'm the only one that has food.
Well, you get a little snack on the plane. But...
So I share with Abby, because they didn't get, because they were closer to the front of the gate than I was. Okay. Because Abby came running at me, Mom, I gotta go. I was like, I know, I heard, oh my gosh. Yeah. So then we get to Florida. To the rental car. So Brenda, Lucas, me, and Abby were supposed to be in one car, and then Christy and her brood of boys were supposed to be in the other car. They gave Christy the smallest car.
Oh no.
And so here's these 4 boys trying to get into this tiny car. And so it's a big old fiasco. But it was one of the funnest times I've ever had. I don't like big crowds, so I was a little worried about that. And I get motion sick, so the rides made me
Disney
nervous.
World is so huge. Their bus system is so great. You just hop park to park to park.
We didn't do that. We went to Animal Kingdom first and did the Animal Kingdom thing, and then after that we went to the water park, and then we did the Disney.
But how did you get from one park to another?
You just drive.
They're spread. Oh, you guys drove?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where our hotel was like a 10-15 minute drive, because we got so
you weren't in the park.
No, we weren't in the park.
Because if you're staying in the park, you just use the bus system.
Yeah, no, we were in the park because our hotel, we got a giant
like
suite.
A good neighbor type hotel.
Yeah, it was a huge suite because it had 3 rooms because there's all of us in it.
Yeah.
Not all of us. Christy and her.
So were you in Kissimmee, not Orlando?
No, we were in Orlando, but it was like 15-minute drive to the park.
Yeah.
So we just drove and did Epcot. We just drove to each one.
Oh,
Universal is the only one where you drive, because Universal is 2 parks, and then the parks are connected by the Harry Potter train.
Okay.
So then you just ride the train to that, which is fantastic. I'm not a Potter fan, but it was fantastic.
Well, I'm assuming Disney World, you rode the monorail from the parking lot.
Yeah. I
love that.
They come and get you. Like you stand in this area and then they come get you. So it was cool. Yeah, it was fantastic. Getting into the park was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. We did have more fun at Universal than we did at the Disney, which was okay. It's all fun.
Yeah, it's good to see.
But we had a lot of fun, and of course, as a scrapbooker, I've got my camera ready, and we get to Epcot, and I'm excited to take all these pictures, and my camera died.
Oh no!
I plugged it in, but I guess it didn't connect.
Oh no!
So we got to Canada, and that was it.
Oh no!
I was like, I did nothing else for the whole day.
You just have your memory.
Yeah, it was, and then so Lucas and I went back to Epcot to do the princess, get the signatures for Abby, because she didn't want to go. She wanted to go to the water park with the boys, which I get. That's okay.
Oh my God, Blizzard Beach rocks.
We went to Blizzard Beach, and then they went to the other one. There's the other one. I can't remember.
Crappy one, the lagoon. Something.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like 50s version of a water park.
We didn't go.
That's dumb.
So we're there. We're doing the pictures. We're going around the park, doing the pictures, and we find who is it? Oh, Alice in Wonderland. I love Alice in Wonderland. So we're standing, there's a line, so I'm standing here. So every line, there's a point where somebody stands and then the line goes this way. Well, this one she was first. I cut in line. I cut this little girl off. I didn't know it was the beginning of the line. Because they had this up above. They had this where it looked like somebody stood because there was an arch and there was decorations.
Okay.
So I thought that was the beginning of the line because of how the decorations were. And then, so I'm standing here. So I'm standing here. I'm oblivious to that I've cut in front of this little girl. And so...
God. Was she crying?
No, she didn't say anything. And so finally, I don't know what dawned on me. I think I saw people lining up towards the back. And I was like, wait, is this the front of the line? And the mom goes, oh yeah, I'm like, oh my God, I totally thought it was the end of the line. I was wondering when nobody was going after me, but I'm like, whatever. And I was like, I am so sorry. I felt horrible. And she's like, so I'm telling her that I was there, getting my daughters for pictures and for the signatures and stuff like that. And, I'm so sorry. I'll go to the back. She's like, no, it's just you. Just stay. I was like, I'm like, are you sure? Because I will totally go to the back. And I'm like, now it's huge, but I'll go back to the end. Yeah. So I felt horrible. I got this little girl. I'm that tourist that's oblivious of everybody that's around me.
She was fine.
She was.
The mom is fine. It's cool.
She was.
Some people are nice.
So that was the fun. And our favorite ride, was at Universal. It's Bluto's ride from Popeye. It's a Popeye ride.
Oh, okay.
It's a water ride. So you are in this inner tube thing with these, backs and it takes you through this water thing and ups and downs and then there's waterfalls that, get you wet. So there's 9 of us and then one strange man, because they fill the seats. So there's one strange man. So we go through it and we're dying. We're just laughing. It's Mother's Day and we're just having a good time. Everybody's
in Florida.
Everybody's
good
sopping wet.
Yeah.
So there's nobody there. I mean, there's nobody there. When we came down the ramp, there's nobody there. So when we came back to the exit, there's still nobody there.
Wow. So hop back on. You're already wet.
So we're like, could you just let us keep going?
Yeah.
We just want to go around. And the guy was just like, yeah, okay, we're not supposed to, but because there's nobody there. Right. But the lady's like, no, they gotta get off. So I'm like, okay, so we all get off
and then
we
go
run
down.
around, and the same guy that was with us came with us, came back around, and we all got back on.
Well, you're already wet. You might as well.
Well, there's nobody there, so it was such a fun ride.
That's
so
awesome.
we go through it again, and we come back around, and again, there's nobody there. So we're all of us are like this, like you can't see us. Just keep going again.
What? There's no. I mean, as long as you get off and you get back in line and you get back.
We didn't get off at all. So this third time, the guy was distracting her and just letting us keep floating through. And then she notices us. This time it's too late. It's too late now. So we go again, third guy, and so I got these pictures of everybody. There's this random guy. He came on with us. He looked like he had a great time.
That's awesome.
So then you get off of it. So finally we're like, okay, we got off because now there is a line. We're like, okay, we'll get off. And at the end of the line is this giant building that says People Dryer. And it's this giant building. You pay $5 and it's this huge air dryer.
Ooh, that's awesome. I didn't know about that.
So we were all in there trying to hey, get out of the way. I need to get dry.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic. It was one of the best times that we've ever had when we went to Animal Kingdom. So my mother-in-law is a mail lady. She knows everybody. Like, you go to a store and she knows somebody. So, of course, we're in Florida and she finds somebody that she knows.
Oh, my gosh. That's
You're like,
so
really?
funny.
So we did the Animal Kingdom. That was our first day. We did the Animal Kingdom. So she's talking to these ladies and she goes, oh, how did you like the baby gorillas? And we're like, baby gorillas?
Oh, the gorillas are awesome.
We missed it.
There's like lands within the land.
We
right?
missed Africa. So when you go to the Tree of Life, there's different pathways.
There's like Asia and whatever. And so
we went right instead of left. And so we missed Africa completely.
Wow.
So we're like, we didn't even see the base. So one of our extra days, we went back to it. It was a gorgeous. Watching the baby gorilla try to climb the bamboo pole.
Well, and in the safari, you see like the elephants.
Yeah, we did the safari.
Like,
it's really cool. The drive one and the walk one.
And Disney does it right there. They treat their animals like they're prize-winning horses.
The only thing I thought was the weirdest thing is, when you see random animals where they shouldn't be, you're like, well, that's really weird. In the gorilla enclosure were rabbits.
Well,
I just thought it was weird that there was just these random rabbits.
I bet they're just in the landscape of Florida.
Right. They're just there. They're wild,
you
know.
And the gorillas are eating vegetation.
Yeah, the little baby was looking at it and wanted to play with it.
Yeah. But I mean, they're not going to eat it like if that rabbit was in the lion's den, they'd probably get it.
But that was just the weirdest thing, because it's like, like you're looking and like it's like watching like the giraffes, and all of a sudden there's a random chicken. Like,
are we in Hawaii?
Where did the chicken come from? So that's what it was like with the bunny.
That's
you're like,
funny.
oh, it's weird. There's a rabbit.
They're just letting nature happen.
It's really cool.
Right? Yeah.
It's fantastic. We loved it. One of the funnest places we've ever been.
I enjoyed Disney World. We went there in 1999, just Dave and I. And then we were touting it so hard that we went again in 2000 with his sister and our brother-in-law. So Matt and Jen. So the four of us went to Disney World in 2000. And again, we just had a blast. We had one whole day where we just didn't really have a plan. We knew we wanted to go to the water park, so we went to Blizzard Beach.
Oh, yeah, so much fun, Blizzard Beach. Yeah,
blast.
Blizzard Beach was fantastic.
If I won the lottery and could build any kind of fantasy house, forget the pool.
The lazy river,
mile-long lazy river with little cocktail stops.
Okay, that's what we kept saying. How come we don't got like some cabana boy, handing us a drink as you go around a loop?
Disney.
Yeah, no alcohol. But Brenda was like this at one point, basking. She's like, I'd really like a French fry, because you could smell them. You could smell it. She's like, I really like a French fry. And next thing you know, here's this seagull that flies by because it's low with this mouthful of French fries.
Oh my god!
And I was just waiting for it to like drop one.
Oh my god!
I'd be like,
don't eat it.
There's a French fry.
And spread that around.
But it was just such a random occurrence.
That is funny.
So then, of course, you get
French
the giggles
here. Like, what else do you want? Do you want a bucket of 50s? And see what happens?
That's how we were acting, and we got the giggles so bad. It was just hilarious.
That's
fun. Like, what such a weird coincidence. But that was probably one of our very first huge family trips.
Yeah,
we had so much fun.
People to travel with. You're taking on a lot.
Yeah. Personalities and
that
everything.
Would stress me out. That's like too many people.
It wasn't too bad because our suites were separate. So when our suite,
so you could have downtime. And
so
relax.
Brenda took the main room, the master room, and then Lucas and I had our own room, which had a king bed. It had our own TV in there too.
Oh, nice.
And then Abby and Jack were supposed to be in the twin room, and they had their own TV. And then
why do you say Jack?
Because when we split up the people, Christy's room only had 2 rooms. So she had a room. Andrew and Kyle took the room. And then Nate had the pull-out couch. There wasn't room for Jack.
Okay.
So Jack came into ours since we had the twin bed. Well, in my hotel room, the rule was when you got up and had breakfast, you did homework. Because it was during school. So Abby had a packet of work that she had to do every day. And so that was the rule in my house, in my hotel. So when you're eating breakfast, you do your homework. Well, that was one day he didn't want to do his homework.
Oh.
So he'd get up immediately and leave and go to his mom's.
Oh.
So he really only slept there because he had no choice.
But heister.
So everybody on the way home was trying to get their homework done because nobody did it.
I did not.
Yeah, the only thing that Abby didn't do that she was supposed to was she was supposed to read a book. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get her to sit down and read a book. So
you're at Disney World.
We made her read all the signs. So every sign that we came across, she had to read it, like the placards that talked about things. She read it all, and the teacher says, "No, I'm okay with that," because it was the best that we could do.
She just wanted her to read.
She just wanted her to read. So yeah, it was fantastic.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
that's fun. Good memories. So. Did you get your camera recharged?
After that day, I made sure that everything was charged the night before.
I do remember the days of
you had to have a camera.
Yeah,
you had to have the camera, and it was a nice camera. It took really nice pictures.
Mine does. I mean, I still have my Canon SLR, and it's great.
Yeah.
I just forget to use it
because we're so used to cell phones. Yeah, my cell phone does not take very good pictures. So
I upgraded. I think I have an iPhone 11. It's pretty good.
I need to upgrade it. It hasn't been upgraded for a while.
But I only upgraded because Dave's brother is like a techie, and he has to have the latest Apple release. And so every time he upgrades something, we get first dibs on what he's done using, even though it's still got a long life. So we take it used and saves us some money.
Well, why not?
What
did you do in
2015? I was 44 years old. I was 11 years living in Port Angeles. Dave and I'd say me, but Dave and I. And we were thinking back, and so at that point, having lived here in this city 11 years is the longest that any of us, that he and I lived anywhere ever. Like, so we couldn't really call ourselves Oregonians anymore because we had long extended, that we're in Washington.
Washingtonians.
Yep. So, and I have no regrets. I love living here. I love the friends that I've made. We're fine. It's a pain to get to the airport, not going to lie. It would be nicer if you didn't have to cross the Hood Canal Bridge and 2.5 hour drive over to SeaTac and blah, 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 and park and ride and all that. But you know what? It's fine. That's a small issue.
Mm-hmm.
And taking the ferries in the area. I mean, there's just so much fun living out here. It's great. So at that point, I was also 11 years in working for the National Park Service. So I've got 6 years left. So now I'm at 24 years in, but back in 2015, I was 11 years in. And because there seems to be an 11 theme in that year, I went to the 11th month in November to see what we did. And we took a trip with Dave's older brother and his wife, Rick and Wendy. We went to Napa. We did like a Napa,
Napa Valley
wine tasting. Like we had done that several times, but it's just always fun. You have different wineries. And we also went out to hang with Yvonne at Point Reyes National Seashore. So we stayed at the Point Reyes Lodge there and went out to the historic lighthouse, which was just so beautiful. That lighthouse is so gorgeous. You have to take like over 300 stairs to get down to it. It was, I was worried.
Do you have to go back up the 300 stairs?
Yeah. But it was fine. It's not as bad as you think it's going to be. So, and then we had dinner with Yvonne, and it was just a fun getaway. I enjoy the Bay Area a lot. It's a great place to go visit. So, that was my life happening there. I don't remember other family things like going on. So I only looked up November. Okay, so Paranormal Activity 6, Ghost Dimension. Excuse me, I'm going to take I'm out of sippy. Movie plot. 1988, Katie and Christy watch as Dennis's spine is crushed by mysterious force and Grandma Lois takes the girls upstairs. So, Paranormal Activity 3 ends with Dennis dying. The grandma is
grandma's
basically
house,
controlling Toby.
Right.
The mom gets pushed and falls down the stairs. Katie gets upset. She thinks her mom is her, whatever. So the grandma takes the girls upstairs, and this is the opening of the Ghost Dimension. Is Katie and Christy are with grandma upstairs in the house, and there's this guy. Okay, he's like creeper guy. He is. If you could picture a cult leader, they nailed it with this guy.
Yeah, he was pretty creepy.
He speaks to the girls about Toby and how they are important to Toby's plan. I mean, first of all, ew.
Yeah. Poor girls.
In 2013, so then we jump. So it kind of opens with that scene and then it jumps to this new family that we're going to be watching things happen to. 2013, Ryan, his wife Emily, their 6-year-old daughter Layla are about to celebrate Christmas when Ryan's brother Mike moves in after breaking up with his girlfriend, Uncle Mike. I really liked Uncle Mike. Ryan and Emily's friend Skylar notices that Layla is talking to an imaginary friend named Toby. So
Toby's back.
Mike finds a box of old videotapes dating from 1988 to 1992 and a large video camera. The tapes show young Christy and Katie with their mother Julie and her boyfriend Dennis in 1988. That's the time frame that Activity 3 took place in. While others from 1992 are in Lois's house. Makes sense. where the two are practicing supernatural abilities with this mysterious man. Ryan and Mike notice that the girls are seemingly aware of the pair's presence through the videos. Ryan notices that old camera picks up spiritual beings. He decides to record overnight and several paranormal events occur. Ryan and Emily discover that their house is built on the same property that Katie and Christy used to live in before it burned down in 1992. The grown-up Katie sold the house to the family, which was built by a coven of witches called the Midwives. Ryan and Emily call Father Todd. I think he's a Catholic priest, but I'm not sure. I mean, who?
Well, fathers.
I think some. Anyway, okay. So Ryan and Emily call Father Todd, who Layla attacks. Ryan, and she's the little girl. Ryan researches the cult and realizes they killed a family in Nevada related to a boy named Hunter who was born on the same day as Layla. One of the tapes also shows Hunter in 1992, despite not being born until 2005. Again, that like time jump thing. Mm-hmm. Layla's blood is needed to finish Toby's transformation into a physical being. One night, Layla opens a doorway to another world. Ryan and Emily flee with her to a hotel. Father Todd attempts to cleanse the house, but is dragged away by Toby. Ryan traps the demon in a white sheet and finishes the prayer. Layla returns to normal. However, Skylar vomits blood all over Mike, and the blood burns him, killing them both. Ryan is impaled by the demon while running away with Emily. Layla sprints into the portal in her room with Emily following. She arrives at Christy and Katie's mother's house in 1992, where she finds a young Katie and confronts the human version of Toby. Emily is killed, and Layla and Toby walk off as the camera cuts. Lot going on here in trying to like wrap up the whole Toby saga.
That's what it feels like. It's like, this is it. So they got to put it all.
It really does. So, there was again, this movie had an alternate ending, but we'll go through the observations. So the opening of the movie is with this creepy man. He's got long hair and a ponytail, wearing a turtleneck, has a goatee. Total cliche of what
he's a creeper.
Of what I think like a cult leader would look like. I mean, other than Charles Manson and David Koresh and all, whatever. But it just I just don't trust dudes with long hairs and goatees wearing turtlenecks and jewelry and like.
Well, because he's just feels like it was just a random person.
Ugh. And he was just creepy. He was like touching the girls and just like, oh, you're needed for important things. Blah blah blah. So it's just gross. So they're at the grandma's house. The grandma is present when this dude is yakking at the girls, telling Christy you will give birth to a son who is one of the chosen, and tells Katie her gift is her strength to take care of her sister and others. Oh. And we find out later Katie is like, she is possessed and kills her sister at the end of the universe. So good job taking care of your sister. Yeah. Creepy moment in the movie of the little girl Layla talking in her room, and she says the name Toby for the first time. So you're like, oh my God,
Toby's back.
We see symbols drawn in Layla's room above her bed in the shape of a door. Mike says that those symbols appeared in the movies he found from Katie and Christy. He says the symbols are of the midwives that go back to the Middle Ages, use the symbols to open doorways to different places and times they were into devil worship. So that kind of explains, like, maybe we don't notice
I don't see the symbols
part
like
4 when they're at the grandma's house. Maybe they're like drawn but not visible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I know that there's different symbols in the movies. Like you catch glimpses of the symbols, but never like as obvious. That
this one had like all these symbols drawn vertical, like
a door.
Right above the little girl's bed. So like her bed frame was here, and then there's like this on the wall, just this drawing of symbols in crayon, which is strange. So it's either Toby did it or he told her what to do. We don't really know, and I don't even know how she would reach up that.
Because it was just
the assumption is maybe Toby
did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna believe.
Yeah, well, because it's not practical. I don't even think she knew how to draw them.
Yeah. Layla says Toby is going to take her away. This is the first time the parents experience Toby in Layla's bedroom, and then The mom calls the church for help the next day. The mom asks Layla again about who's going to take her away. Does she mean Toby? Layla won't answer. She bangs one of her figures from the nativity on the tabletop. She says she's going to be taken away to be with the others. So there's an obvious coven connection there going on. Near the end of the movie, Layla's eyes go completely black, which is like super creepy to see a little kid with black eyes. The father from the church is killed. The house just completely vibrated. Its furniture is thrown. They're under attack. They have this circle that's drawn on the floor, and that encapsulates the demon. He's like, they throw a sheet over him, so he's like in this circle. See him. He can't escape the circle, but he's moving and thrusting around under the sheet. And then you see the chandelier above the circle in the living room, just for a second, is swinging. Yeah. So it's like, oh, final chandelier.
There's the chandelier.
And so that's like basically it. I mean, it didn't have the night 1, night 2.
Yeah, this one didn't have that either.
Why it's called Ghost Dimension? So near the end of the movie, the little symbols around the door kind of light up, and the wall sort of disappears and crumbles, and it opens this tunnel. Well, so the poster of the movie is this girl standing in front of this tunnel. Mm-hmm. Well, she goes into the tunnel. The mom is like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And she goes after her, and that's like the last we see of them.
Right.
So we have to assume, like, wherever they were going, they might not come back.
Right.
The coven might kill the mom, keep the child. Like, I don't know. I mean, if they're trying to raise an army, they're going to want this little virgin child. Because
she was going to be the new mom.
You know. So here's the alternative ending. The extermination of the demon was successful. 4 months later, Emily, Ryan, and Layla have moved into a different house. While Layla is playing outside, she is joined hand in hand with young Katie and Christy. While celebrating Layla's birthday party, Emily is revealed to be pregnant. Layla blows out the candles on her cake, wishing for a baby brother. Emily states they do not know the sex of their baby yet, and the film ends.
Oh,
I don't like. I'm happy with how they ended it because I feel like it. If they had this alternative ending, you would have to have
it
the
feels
next
like you
movie
have to keep going,
continue telling this Toby story, and it's like, well, you
never
really told us enough to begin with, and you forced it to sort of piece all this together, and like I couldn't take one more movie of like trying. No. So I'm glad they ended it the way they ended it.
Aww.
But so all these, at least the cop
didn't kill him. So they knocked on the door for the priest.
So I went online and because my printer's not very good and I'm kind of out of ink, I wanted to show like a snapshot from each movie that was like a freaky moment. So I'm going to try and do this. Ow. So the first movie, Paranormal Activity, is the picture of Katie in the bedroom. Like, she's just
the standing
there. Like, I mean, how creepy is that?
It is.
Paranormal Activity 2 is you're in Hunter's room and you can see Hunter in the crib and the dog who...
Full alert.
Is like on full alert. So like that's kind of a theme of that movie.
Because animals are really sensitive to that.
Number 3 is our little ghost
sheet
friend. Our ghost sheet. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Ghost sheet friend that appears like behind the teenage babysitter who's like doesn't know it's there. The 4th movie is the very cut at the end when we see the coven. And you can't see this in the photo, but they are all wearing like this triangle symbol thing going on. I'm not doing a very good job.
You're fine.
The 5th movie, it's Katie and Christy shown as like
that's when they're in the basement.
Demon children with their black eyes, like super creepy. The 6th one, which we didn't really talk about, but it's this figure of Toby starting to form, but in such a cool way. Remember, it's like black liquid sort of coming off the ground and like starts to form into this being, and it was the first creepy. Time that we saw that.
Something. Yeah.
So that was a really cool scene.
Yeah, so, that's right. That was creepy.
Yeah. So that's our take, people. That's a lot to cover. 6 episodes. Thank you for hanging in with us.
Yeah.
It's one of our favorite series. I could go tomorrow or I could go this afternoon and watch.
Watch them again.
I love them. They're great.
Except Next of Kin.
Yeah,
I won't watch that again.
Probably not.
No, that's the do not watch list.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you want to be like complete franchise follower, sure, give it a whirl. Tell us what you think. But I found it really disconnected.
It's only because it has the name. To me, that's the only thing that makes it into this category.
It almost is like you might as well have just done this movie as a one-off and not even call it Paranormal Activity. Just call it Next of Kin and make some weird reference. I don't know.
Because it didn't tie into any of it. You don't see Katie. There's no
time traveling.
There's none of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a weird, different cult.
It is.
You know, and women and stuff like that. And maybe the women tie in, but it doesn't talk about it. But who knows? I mean, but the cult, because it's women in the first one.
Right.
It's all about women in that one. But other than that,
I think some of the symbols appear in the house of this Amish family or whatever. But then I mean, it's an interesting story to watch. But to me, it doesn't feel very connected to the first 6. So we put all our effort into the first 6 movies. And we highly recommend them if you haven't watched them, but watch them with a friend. Yeah. Turn some lights on after. After seeing the second one, like I said, it was the one that scared me the most, and I had a hard time being home alone after that and like not being scared at night. And I mean, okay, so last night, even when I was typing all this stuff up, I was like, Dave was asleep. I could hear him snoring. And I'm the only one up. I didn't have like a podcast. I didn't have anything else on.
Oh, you were just quiet.
I wanted to be able to focus and like copy, paste, whatever. And even in my own house, after living here 20 years, there are some noises that occur that you're like, what was that? What? I mean, that kind of sound like somebody walking on my roof. Like, just straight, no matter what house you're in, being alone at night,
it's always going to be creepy.
And I was a little worried because I'm like typing up all this, looking up weird satanic stuff between 3 and 4 a.m. the witching hour. I'm like, I better not open that freaking doorway into my house. I don't want demons coming in through my bathroom spigot or something.
I'm going to come knock on your window.
Oh my God, I would piss my pants. So we had fun, and we thank you.
This is a lot of fun. Thanks for our kookiness.
I think July and August and September, because of my work schedule being what it is, we need to do movies that are just singles.
Single movies.
So I'm thinking we can do, I don't know, what do you think?
Trying to think of a single movie.
Like The Shining.
The Shining could be one. Right? Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs
is one.
We did talk about Blair Witch. I don't know if we want to do a whole episode. I don't feel like doing a whole episode of Blair Witch. But
Blair Witch was, I'll have to go through my list.
Annabelle's
not, because it's the whole,
they did a whole thing.
Whole genre of it.
Maybe The Shining.
I like The Shining. The Shining's not 2. It's 2 movies though.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because they did the Doctor one.
Oh,
Doctor
Sleep. That doesn't. I don't count that. It wasn't.
You're like, no, it does not.
The Shining is The Shining.
Right, The Shining is The Shining. Yeah, and that's it.
Maybe we do that one.
Okay.
And then August.
Red rum. We're gonna have rum.
Rum coffee. Rum and coffee. That goes good, right?
We're doing rum and coffee.
The Irish do whiskey and coffee. Why can't we do rum and coffee? Coconut rum and coffee. I'm in.
Ooh.
I'm in.
Okay. We got it.
All right. So we're going to get drunk and talk about The Shining.
Bring it rum.
All right. Take care, you screamers. We love you. Have a good week.
Thanks.
Rest of your weekend, whatever you're doing.
Bye.